Dude, okay. So on page 118 to 119 of the document that they released today to of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, we have Clarence Thomas, Justice Clarence Thomas. He's also added that they should go after Griswold versus Connecticut, they should go after Lawrence versus Texas, and they should go after Obergefell versus Hodges. And for anyone who doesn't know, Griswold in Connecticut, that was the measure to make buying contraceptives legal,
Oh,
right?
jeez.
Like a single woman didn't have to get her husband's consent to go and buy contraceptives or whatever
Shut
the
the
case may
fuck
be.
up, man.
Yeah, basically it allowed it made so that the government couldn't go in your bedroom and tell you what to do, that kind of situation. Lawrence versus Texas was literally the banning of making of prosecuting people for being homosexual. All right, that's Clarence Thomas is advocating for that to be next, right? And then Obergefell versus Hodges, which is the most recent one in our time, in our history. That is to overturn the ruling that same-sex couples can get married.
Okay. Yeah.
So those three things are mentioned right now. I think I'm sorry, it sounded like you want to say something. Go
No,
ahead.
no. It's always that whole thing of like these fucking guys are always talking about small government and all this shit, and then they like pull. I just don't, dude. For the fucking life of me, man, it's just like I'll never really understand like just the whole like mind your fucking business. Like, what is it? What is other people's like life and what they're doing? Like they're like literally, it's just their existence. Just
Yeah,
existing is just an issue. Like they can't even
yeah.
just be like, and it's
Nope.
just like this is so. For as much as they probably would say that this isn't an anti-woman thing that they're
Oh, come
doing,
on. Oh,
because
come
that's
on.
what they'll say, right? Like they'll say that it's like, no,
Yeah.
this isn't.
It's
This is a
about the
life. This is a
babies.
life thing,
Yeah.
and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, no, dude. Like this is so like fuck women to the core kind of shit.
100%. Men don't have kids. We don't have kids. What? Like, I can't give birth at all. So I mean, I feel like it's one of those situations where, I mean, we've been told numerous times it's my body, my choice. So let them have their fucking choice. It's not my choice to make. Like, straight up, what you do with your body is not my choice to make. And I feel like that should extend to the people that represent me in Congress. That should extend to the people that represent me. And just the sheer like mind-bogglingness that comes with appointing a Supreme Court judge, whereas um, we, the people, don't have any say. These aren't elected officials. These are people put in. These are puppet masters,
Mm-hmm.
puppets put inside by different regimes. They have a life appointment, but then they get to relegate how we literally live our lives. Some of the biggest decisions have to go through the Supreme Court. Those really big, the ones we just talked about, Roe v. Wade and Griswold v. Fucking Connecticut, and all these different things. These largely men are sitting in a room and deciding the fates of us, and we did not vote for these people, and they'll be doing it for the rest of their lives.
I mean that I think there's a I don't agree with that completely. Like we didn't vote them specifically, but we voted for the
No.
people that voted for them in.
It is my profound honor to be the first president in history to attend the March for Life.
Like these are the people that are driving these laws, and I see it on social media now. Like I've seen a bunch of women who were very pro conservative, pro Trump, and stuff like that, and then today are like, this is really fucked up or whatever. I'm like, well, like what? Like, did you not? What were you not listening? Like, were you not paying
Not paying
attention?
attention at all. Yeah.
Because that doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's
It's
really weird to have that conversation with people when I think there's a really like there's a lack of understanding of how the process works, and it's fucking scary now because like now that this shit is passed,
it
what
sets a precedent.
yeah,
Yeah.
what
It
actually
sets a precedent.
happens now for further things down the line and for like our immediate like for our present, like what really has to change for us to reverse those kinds of things,
To
and
reverse
it's
that,
a lot, dude.
it's a whole lot. That's why it took so long to reverse it. Like, I mean, it literally took. I mean, this has been a
Since the 60s.
since the '60s, sure, but I'm talking about the Merrick Garland pressuring Barack Obama not
Oh,
to
sure.
nominate Merrick Garland, and then turning around and using that same, because if I remember correctly, the whole point was they couldn't put Garland in the seat because there was some kind of grace period. I forget what that grace
They
period
made up.
is.
They
What
made
is
up.
it like?
They made up. Whatchamacallit? Fucking turtle senator. Mitch McConnell said.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch
Yeah.
McConnell said that if since it's a lame duck year,
Yes,
they shouldn't
shouldn't.
appoint. But there is no precedent. There's no law. There's
There's no
nothing
law, no
saying that.
precedent that says you have to do that.
The American people may well elect a president who decides to nominate Judge Garland for Senate consideration. The next president may also nominate somebody very different.
And what Democrats do all the time is they concede under that kind of pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, fine, let's be partisan about this. And then Trump comes in, and the Democrats tried to turn that same line of reasoning back on them. And what did Trump say? Fuck you. And he installed who the fuck he wanted.
The point that you're making about like the Democratic Party too is like, for me at least, like there is no, the idea that I would idolize any politician, like just in general, is just not something, like, you know what I mean?
No,
It's not
of course
something I'm, just because maybe there's progressive issues that I want, but they're still politicians to their core and stuff. And the Democratic Party now is just like they don't strong arm like our best for what's best for us and stuff, you know what I mean? Like they don't do that and stuff. And it's just really, it's a constant fucking letdown, because it's like that's the only team that at least on paper doesn't fucking hate me outright.
Yeah.
But then but then the policies that they enact are just like bullshit. It's the bullshit stuff. It's like, it's not even the fact.
Lip service.
It's lip
man.
service. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fan service.
It's
It's
lip
not.
service, for sure.
Yeah. It's not. And this is the conversation that I think me and Jeff started having last week, but then we cut it short. One of the things I was trying to get across to Jeff was that, like, I'm not saying that Democrats are the saviors. I'm not saying. I was focusing on how much worse for us Republicans are proving themselves to be. I'm not just saying this I'm not just saying this because I feel that way. I mean, all you have to do is look around.
Yeah.
Like really look around.
Yeah.
They stormed the fucking Capitol. We're still talking about that. The hearings for that are still going on. And in the midst of all that, they fucking overturned Roe v. Wade. Like, come on. You think those were a bunch of Democrats in that room, or a bunch of left-leaning former politicians that are now apolitical? You think those are the people that made that decision? Like, straight up?
Yeah. I'm it sucks because, like, obviously we're doing this, and we don't have the female perspective and stuff like that, but I don't think that we're so far off that we can't empathize and understand that this is like a serious, scary fucking situation for so many people, so many women, and what this actually means. There's a lot of uncertainties that are going to happen because of this. And the path, I think, is what's also more terrifying, because this, like you said before, it sets the precedent to what now? What else? Like same-sex marriage, not being able to buy condoms at the store, like stupid
just
shit.
Contraceptives, period, bro.
Fucking
like it's
interracial marriage. Like,
nope, interracial marriages, and that's so funny. That's Loving versus what is that? That's Loving versus it's a very interesting point that you brought up, interracial marriage. Loving versus Virginia was the court case that decided that interracial marriage was protected under the Constitution, and or under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, more specifically. And funny enough, Judge Clarence Thomas, who is in an interracial marriage of of the things he put in the docket to go after next, Loving wasn't on there. So it's very, very much a I got mine and fuck you guys kind of situation.
I don't know, dude. Like
Yeah.
for at least for me and stuff like that, like as awful as this Roe v. Wade thing is, like not really surprised about the path that we've taken because of how far the Republican Party's pushed these kind of like draconian fucking ideas, man. Like I'm not shocked at all. And the shittier part is like the not being shocked about it, not being surprised about it, understanding that there's shit coming along down the line behind that train that carries piles of higher shit than what we're just experiencing now. Which is fucking like, what is it? I know I said this in jest in one of the podcasts and stuff, but like, this is the kind of shit that people like kill people over, man.
Tonight, federal authorities are on alert after police in Idaho say they prevented a possible domestic terror attack over the weekend. 31 members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front were arrested on suspicion of plotting to violently disrupt a local LGBTQ pride event.
Like all this shit that's coming down the line.
Absolutely. This shit is about to turn into Handmaid's Tale, and that's not a joke, man. Like, it really feels like someone watched that show and was like, that's the America I want to live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like straight up, bro. It's really ridiculous. I just, it blows my mind that, and I know you said you're not surprised by it. I am surprised by it. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely thought that this like the overturning of a long-standing upheld rule in court that's been attacked multiple times and have been just, you know, like never held up. I'm very surprised that could happen overnight. Like, I'm very surprised that you could wake up one morning and it's no longer the case. That to me does not seem the way that the Supreme Court should be run. They should not be able to make these votes without the American public knowing that this is being voted on so that we could then express how we feel about it. Like, I just don't understand that you can go to bed one night and it's legal to get an abortion in the United States, and then you wake up the next morning and it's no longer the case. That blows my fucking mind, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I know, like you said, you can see it coming. You can see it coming down the pipeline. But I really did think that there would be procedures in place that would stop it. That would at least give us the power to stop it.
Well, that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like, it's just like, it's not even to be. It's because I hate towing that line of like, it's not even to be cynical. Really, at least from my perspective, it's not even wanting to be cynical. It's just that this party specifically went as far as to violently try to overthrow an election. There's what you know what I mean? Yeah, like what there's nothing.
Yeah, what's left? Nothing sacred.
No.
Like I told Jeff, like me and Jeff was talking last week, like people, you go on these forums and they're talking about being ready for civil war. And I think that with something as big as Roe v. Wade being overturned, can you imagine, bro? Like, these are the people that would sit outside of fucking abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood places, ready to fucking kill women walking into these centers, dog. And the only reason they didn't is because they couldn't. The only reason they didn't attack is because they couldn't. I don't want to get to that point where motherfuckers are, like you said, these are the things that rile people up so hardcore that they will come after you for believing differently.
Because the America that they want doesn't include us, bro, at all. It's just the facts.
Absolutely.
It's the facts.
Absolutely.
The America that they're wanting is not, we're not part of that plan, bro. Sorry to tell everyone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's just the absolute facts, truth. Yeah, so get yourselves trained on firearms.
I've thought about that.
Like,
I've thought about that.
That's it.
I thought about that a while ago, and I feel like
I just think it's a good skill to have. I'm not saying that I'm about to go out there and start doing some wild shit. I'm not saying that. I definitely do think though that I need to be prepared to defend my home. Period. And that's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you got stuff coming on, and you have your home and your family and stuff, and I think your mindset is different now too. You know, like
I mean, it's just, I mean, I think everybody woke up with a different mindset today. I think everybody woke up and I don't want this to sound selfish, but I think everybody woke up and was like, oh shit, what does this mean for me?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a big monumental thing that I think everybody can feel it just a little bit and make it a little bit about them. And I think that's what makes this different than pretty much anything else that's happened in my lifetime, is that this, even though it's not about me, directly affects me, and it affects my neighbor, and it affects my fiance. It affects our unborn kid, as like it affects a lot. Like, it affects everybody.